Hey, it's Rachel at Taylor in Kensington, and I'm here today with my ReReadathon Wrap Up video. I have to say the week started pretty slow. On Monday, I was still reading A Darker Shade of Magic. I was still quite a few pages away, and I still haven't finished it yet. And I just felt bad because I knew it was a ReReadathon. I had a huge TBR list, and I wasn't getting anywhere. So I ended up actually picking up one that wasn't even on my TBR list because I knew it would get me jump-started, and that is Demon in My View by Amelia Atwater Rhodes. I remember really enjoying these when I was younger because the author herself was so young when she wrote and published these. Here you can see a picture of her on the back there. She's like a young Anne Rice in this picture in the graveyard there. And I remember in her first book, which was called In the Forest of the Night, she was like 14 when she published it. They all revolve around these vampire characters, at least in this kind of series. I think she branched out into some other kind of fairy tale like books, but for these they focused around vampires, and it was very nice to see the progression of the characters in these. This particular book revolves around a vampire from the first book, and you get to see him in a different kind of light, and I really enjoyed that. And these are so quick and so easy to read. You can see they're really thin. This was about 176 pages, and I finished this on, I believe it was Tuesday night. So that got me kind of in the groove for reading and got me started. And I picked up one from my TBR list, which is The Face on the Milk Carton. I'm sorry about the glare for there. Ooh, let's see. There we go. And it's by Caroline B. Cooney. And I love the art on this. You can see the little apple there and her missing picture on the box and a little sandwich there. This whole book revolves around this girl who at lunch, and you can see there with the missing, finds her own picture as a missing child in one of the milk cartons, and the rest of the book is her trying to figure out the story behind this. Is she actually missing? Did her parents kidnap her? Will anybody believe her if it is true? It's kind of interesting. I remember enjoying this when I was younger. I enjoyed it less this time, which I was a little surprised by. I found some of the things just very odd as I read through it this time. I remember when I was younger, I was really concerned that maybe I would show up on a milk carton one day and be somehow misplaced, but I look exactly like my mother, so there's no chance of that happening. But in this one, the reactions seem very strange to me now, where they didn't necessarily when I was younger. So reading this, I think, kind of even maybe spoiled it for me. But I'm debating on whether I want to keep going. That was the whole reason I wanted to reread this one this time, is to see if I would like to get into the series, because I've been seeing it pop up at a lot of stores for pretty cheap. So I'm still undecided if I'm going to read the next one. I think I gave this either a 2 out of 3 stars on Goodreads. So we'll see. If you want a really short little mystery, though, pick it up and let me know what you think. If you remember reading this when you were younger, let me know if you thought it was kind of weird too, especially if you've read it recently. But this was the second book I read. I think I read this one on Wednesday and Thursday, and that was about 184 pages total. Next, I picked up one that was on my TBR list, and I just love these books. It's called Angus Thongs and Full Frontal Snogging by Louise Renison, and I just love these books. It's a diary style writing based around this girl named Georgia Nicholson who lives in Britain, and they're just so cute. She's kind of crazy and very silly and a little self-absorbed, but that's exactly what you'd expect from a teenager, and it's so cute. She gets herself into so much trouble, and it's just fun to read. This is volume 1. I've read the whole series. I think there's 10 total, and I plan on reading them all again. I love this series. I'm definitely going to be reading this year, and I think I'm actually going to try to start collecting them in this cover. I love this cover style. I have maybe like 2 of them that are not in this cover style, so I think I'm going to try to replace them and get the full set this year because they're just really, really cute. I know Louise Renison has another series, something with like tights. I think the first one's called like Wuthering Tights. I'm not sure. I haven't read that, so if you've read the other series, let me know down below in the comments if you liked it or not, if I should pick it up. But if you have not read this series yet, you definitely need to give it a read. They go so fast because it's Dial's Diary, and they're just hilarious little reads. And this one was 234 pages. And then the last book that I've really been reading on this week is not a reread, but it is an audiobook I've been listening to in my car, and it's the next in the series by Sue Grafton. I've been reading C is for Corpse. And I'm not quite done with this yet, but I've read a lot of it this week, so I decided to go ahead and include it in this wrap-up video. I've read about 130 pages of this in my car as an audiobook this week, and I'm kind of enjoying it so far. I'm not 100% sold on this series yet, but they're kind of interesting. They're little mysteries that follow a private investigator named Kinsey Malone, and she kind of just gets into a new little case in each of the books. And these go through all of the letters of the alphabet. So for instance, the first one I believe was alibi. A is for alibi, and then maybe B is for burglar, I think, and then it goes through the whole alphabet. So I've been picking these up at a lot of garage sales and secondhand stores and book sales. So I have almost the whole series, so I'm really slowly but surely working my way through. But yeah, I've been listening to this audiobook, and I'm hoping to finish it next week in the next readathon. So that gives me a total of 724 pages for this week. Not quite as good as I'd hoped, but I got some reading done, and they were all pretty short books. Here, let's hold them up all together there. This was my reading stack for this week. So check out my next video because there's a new readathon coming up next week, and I'm hoping to post my TBR here very, very shortly for next week's readathon, and I hope it's a bigger stack than this one. We'll see. Thanks for watching. Check back later. Bye!